Welcome back, my friends, to The Chosen's blended harmony of the Gospels. I'm Nancy, this is Mandy, and we are on day 19. Jesus arrives at the festival and begins preaching and teaching. And I'm wearing this shirt today because, boy, today he is going to stir up the water. We are in John chapter 7, verse 10. Jesus arrives at the festival and begins teaching. After his brothers had gone up to the festival, then he also went up. Not openly, but secretly. The Jews were looking for him at the festival, saying, "Where is he?" And there was a lot of murmuring about him among the crowds. Some were saying, "He's a good man." Others were saying, "No, on the contrary, he's deceiving the people." Still, nobody was talking publicly about him for fear of the Jews. When the festival was already half over, Jesus went up to the temple and began to teach. Then the Jews were amazed. "How is this man so learned? Because he hasn't been trained." Jesus answered them, "My teaching isn't mine, but it is from the one who sent me. If anyone wants to do his will, he will know whether the teaching is from God or whether I am speaking on my own. The one who speaks on his own seeks his own glory, but the one who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is true, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Didn't Moses give you the law? Yet none of you keeps the law. Why are you trying to kill me?" "You have a demon," the crowd respond. "Who is trying to kill you?" "I performed one work, and you were all amazed," Jesus answered. "This is why Moses has given you circumcision, not that it comes from Moses, but from the fathers. And you circumcise a man on the Sabbath. If a man receives circumcision on the Sabbath, so that the law of Moses won't be broken, are you angry at me because I made a man entirely well on the Sabbath?" That's back when he healed the man on the Sabbath, and they got all upset about that. But yet they're doing circumcision on the Sabbath. "Stop judging according to the outward appearances. Rather judge according to righteous judgment." Some of the people of Jerusalem were saying, "Isn't this the man they are trying to kill? Yet look, he's speaking publicly, and they're saying nothing to him. Can it be true that the authorities know he is the Messiah? But we know where this man is from. When the Messiah comes, nobody will know where he is from." As he was teaching in the temple, Jesus cried out, "You know me, and you know where I am from. Yet I have not come on my own, but the one who sent me is true. You don't know him. I know him because I am from him, and he sent me," meaning God sent him. Then they tried to seize him, yet no one laid a hand on him because his hour had not yet come. However, many from the crowd believed in him and said, "When the Messiah comes, he won't perform more signs than this man has done, will he?" The Pharisees heard the crowd murmuring these things about him, and so the chief priests and the Pharisees sent servants to arrest him. Then Jesus said, "I am only with you for a short time. Then I am going to the one who sent me. You will look for me, but you will not find me, and where I am, you cannot come." It does seem like a lot of riddles, doesn't it, sometimes? Then the Jews said to one another, "Where does he intend to go that we won't find him? He doesn't intend to go to the Jewish people dispersed among the Greeks and teach the Greeks, does he? What is this remark he made? 'You will look for me and you will not find me, and where I am, you cannot come.'" Okay, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. Let's go back and read some of it. Well, of course, they're looking for him at the festival, and then some are saying he's a good man. Others are saying that he's deceiving the people, but yet no one was really talking publicly because they were afraid. And so it was confusing, right? Some of them thought he was John the Baptist come back to life. Some people thought that he was Elijah. They were really confused about who he was, and they weren't really sure. And then they're wondering how he could just know so much because he hasn't been trained. And he says, "My teaching isn't mine, but it comes from the one who sent me. If anyone wants to do his will," meaning God the Father, "he will know whether the teaching is from God or whether I am speaking on my own." And here's the key point. The one who speaks on his own seeks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is true, and there is no unrighteousness in him. All the Pharisees and Sadducees, they were all vying for position, right? And they would all speak and try to impress people to try to get higher up on that ladder. But what he's saying is that I'm not seeking my own glory. I only say what comes from the Father, and that's what comes through Jesus out to the people. And so there's no unrighteousness in him. There's no sin or anything bad in him because he's pure. He's from God. But the people were very much confused, where he was learning all of this and how he knew so much. But he was the Son of God. So they're saying Moses gave you circumcision and that you could circumcise a man on the Sabbath. Even though you weren't supposed to do any work on the Sabbath, they said that could be okay. So then Jesus' point is, if a man can be circumcised on the Sabbath, why are you angry at me because I made a man entirely well on the Sabbath? this is where they're kind of picking at him. They're saying what they're doing is right, and they're trying to pick at him and say, well, that's not right. But, he says, I am Lord of the Sabbath anyway. So he says that it's fine to be healing someone on the Sabbath. And then I love this line, because they're looking for him, trying to kill him. Can it be true that the authority knows that he is the Messiah? Because they keep trying to say they're going to try to find him and kill him, but every time he keeps slipping through their hands. And then this next line is good. But we know where this man is from. When the Messiah comes, no one will know where he is from. But yet in the prophets, they said he will be born in the town of David. So, they're not even looking at the Old Testament prophecies to see where he will be born and where he comes from. And then Jesus says, I am with you only for a short time. Then I'm going to the one who sent me. You will look for me, but you will not find me. And where I am, you cannot come. So they must be thinking, here's another riddle, right? Where I'm going, you cannot come. But he is going to be going to his Father. Again, they keep thinking that he's doing an earthly kingdom. He's going to be an earthly ruler and rule in this day and age. But what Jesus has really come to do is to die and go back up to heaven and to be at the right hand of God, interceding for us. And so again, they just can't understand that it's not an earthly kingdom, it's a heavenly kingdom. So it's interesting. He's kind of stirring up the waters there at the temple, isn't he? He's coming and he's preaching and he's saying things, and they cannot figure out how he knows so much. But that's because he is the Son of God, right? So he knows all the answers because he is God's son. So anyway, this is kind of an interesting one, and they do just try to keep trapping him and catching him, but he kind of just keeps moving on. And it is really nice to know that God just has the right time for everything to happen in our lives and in Jesus' life too. So at this point, he's still just kind of teaching and confusing them, but a lot of people are starting to believe, which is really exciting. So come back tomorrow, because we've got more exciting harmony of the gospel to read. We'll see you then. You can get your own copy of A Blended Harmony of the Gospels by The Chosen simply by going to thechosengifts.com. There you can find all kinds of wonderful merchandise to help build your faith this year. Be sure to check out their devotionals and their Bible studies. Have a blessed day.